Hey guys, hey guys. This is for all of my spiritualists, and I feel like a lot of spiritualists follow, are part of this movement here with me. A lot of people who are already into their own kind of practices, and they already read tarot palms, or they're already some type of preacher, are really connected to their spirit, to their God. And I want to talk to you guys about a lot of what Spirit's been talking to me about, okay? We have to understand that we're dual creatures, right? It's funny. It's so weird how energy is. We're dual, but we're also one. That magical stuff I be talking about. But we have to understand that we are earth and we are spirit. We are masculine and we are feminine. We are these two aspects that have very different type of responsibilities and things that they think of. What's on the forefront of those aspects of us on their mind. So I was thinking about spirituality. Excuse me, guys. I was watching this amazing woman. I don't know how to say her name. I'll put her name in the comments though. She's so brilliant. She and her brother, actually, they live in, oh my goodness, I believe India, as I say that 1111. And I probably have that all wrong. Either way, they tested as the top 2% when they did the test of your intellect, of your intelligence, the top 2%. And I was just like, oh my God, that's crazy. That's amazing. That's wonderful. But then she talked about how difficult it was for her and how she was brilliant, but how people looked at her and people feared her. And also, the culture she was from, she was a woman, she was dark, and just, also having this spiritual aspect to her too. Could you imagine the life? Can you imagine the life? It's still 1111. Of a brilliant child of color, of a feminine sex that also has psychic abilities. I could not imagine. I cannot imagine what her earthly self, her ego, would have had to take on, right? Would have had to either conform to, stood up against, what her earthly self, her masculine energy would have had to defend against. Now, this is why I tell you guys this, and this is what Spirit's been talking to me. This is why your masculine energy and that ego energy acts out, because we disown it. Don't disown it. It was your savior. It was your warrior. It was your protector. It was your fighter, and it still is. It's just doing it in its own way. Now we have to be that balancing energy for it when we talk about the spiritual energy, when we're talking about the feminine energy, just that mothering that we have to put on our earthly self. But our earthly self, they're warriors, they're giants, and they are powerful. And I think a lot of our spiritualists, we forget about that, and we try to disown those parts of us that think of survival, those parts of us that think of the nastiness, that think of the mess. It's not, or, the basic instincts of humanity. First of all, you have to know those things, because without knowing those things and without being those things, you can't call yourself a real spiritualist, can you? You can't call yourself someone who knows themselves if you don't know that part of you deeply and intimately. I feel like a lot of us are not gaining the success that we're supposed to gain. A lot of us are not seeing the value in ourselves, because we're really teetering on the side of spirituality, and what just comes to my mind is martyrism, if that's a word. We martyr ourselves, or we don't use that earthly aspect of us that shows us how to get ahead. We look at it and we try to denounce it, and we go, oh, that's not nice. That's not the way we should go. That might be a little misleading. And it's like, no, baby, that's advertisement, honey. That's marketing, baby. Okay, that's networking, honey. Do you see what I mean? We have to also step into that aspect of it. That's where all that information lies. It lies on your earthly self. Okay? It lies, that right there lies in the darkness, baby. And it's always a game of listening to yourself, listening to all aspects of yourself. When that thing in you starts to itch or starts to weep or starts to ache, you say, hello, honey, how are you feeling today? What's going on? Talk to mama. Talk to daddy. What is this that you're feeling that's not making you feel like today is the day? The day, you know? Or what is it in you that making you feel like, hey, here I am just existing, being. This is all right, you know? This is cool. Just that calmness in your heart, you know? What is it? And then you act, because sometimes the ego, the earthly self, is just sad or lonely or feeling a way of it cannot succeed, and it acts out, and we have to speak to it, ask it what it needs, and be able to hear it out, and to be able to find a way to give it what it needs, and to also give your higher self, your 5D self, your spiritual self, also what it needs. And that is the balance that we're always looking for. I think a lot, I know that because we all have these talents, okay? If you are interested in me in any way, shape, or form, it's because there's something that you see in me that you see in yourself. That's what that is. So we all kind of grew up in this world that did not see us, right? Or did not see a need for the information that we have. I love my life right now, and I thank God, thank you, universe, because it's putting me in a place, me in my middle age here, where I can see the future grow in my children, and I can see the past. You know, I can see my grandmother and her, and I can see me and how I think. And I just look at my daughter's personality. She's like me. She has the talents that we have. She has the incline that we have. She has the sensitivity that we have. And she's living in this particular life, in this earth, in this world. And she's inquisitive, and she asks a lot of questions, and she wants to be under you, and she's going to tell you how you feel, and she's going to tell you how you react in the moments that you don't want her to express those emotions for you in the public. You don't want her to say those things, right? Now, if I was any other mother, it would get her a lot of backlash. And I still do have to talk to her, even being the mother that I am, you know? So I watch her with her gifts, and me have to teach her about her gifts, and me have to try to show her how to gain balance over who she is, and maybe recognize social cues, you know, maybe think about what you're saying before you say it, or, you know, I have to kind of guide her how she can direct this power. What's being put in my head right now is, what's his name, Cyclops? I don't know. The one that had the power of the eyes, and he would x-ray you, but he always needed the glasses. That's what just put in my mind. That's what our gifts and our powers, that's what our parents and the people around us are supposed to show us and kind of grow at us and cultivate, so we can balance what we are. See, our ego happens when our inner child is bruised, and our inner child is bruised when we are children. Okay? And based on the template that we grew up in, whether you're a Libra, a Sagittarius, wherever the mechanics of these planets were when we were born, does have an effect on our psyche, on our personalities. We come out of the womb with these personalities, and then the world shows us how these things irritate it. Even though it's your beauty, it's your power, it's your everything. So I watch my daughter with her personality and grow, and be shaped by the world, and I watch me in my age, reflecting back on me at her age, and how people reacted to me and my ability, and what it taught me about being quiet and not showing and not asking and not feeling and not telling and not expressing. And I feel like a lot of us, okay, a lot of us, period, no matter what you do it with your heart. All the people who do something with their heart, I feel like we grew up like this, and the world has shaped us so where we sort of step back a little bit. Even when we're striving for our highest thought, our highest life, we kind of step back a little bit because, I don't know, it's something about the ego, okay? It's something about the earthly self. It's something about not wanting to take that step and going, fuck yeah, here I am, I did it, you want some. We have to get in there. And that does lie in the darkness. It does, because that's where your greatness lies too, because that's where it was hidden, because that's how we grew up. So you got to lean into it, baby. You got to get in there. And sometimes in the beginning, it's scary. It is, because it makes you, all those feelings, that ache, that tingle, that emptiness, that hollowness, that frustration, that anger, the feeling of not being able to get out of your skin, let me out. It makes you feel all of that, because underneath all of that is the beauty that you are hiding with that. Do you see? And there is your power right there. You forgot it. It was hidden under the bullshit. Oh, it was hidden under the bullshit that I learned. Oh, it wasn't even really me. Huh? But now it is sort of you. So let me say, because Spirit just told me, it is an aspect of you now, because it is a dialect of you now. It's an internal thought of you now. It's something that you are constantly thinking, because it was something that you were constantly learning. So now you have to deprogram and you have to unlearn, okay? So it is a practice, and it does take time, and it does take conscious focus. But be easy on yourself, even in the practice. Be easy on yourself for whatever you find. And do not denounce what you find, because here it is, sitting next to you now. It has a say, okay? It also has share in this stock, and it will say. So you have to listen to it, because for me, my earthly self is one of my biggest assets. She guides me in a way that my spiritual self does not. Thank you so much for being a part of this love that we're giving and that we're sharing. Thank you so much for supporting me and supporting the movement. Till next time.